Hello, friends, and welcome as we have returned this week with some Morphs in the Swamp. We were off last week. The unfortunate thing was that we had a death on my husband's side of the family that we had to attend to some family issues with that. But we're here. We're back. We're playing some Animorphs. Stuck in the 90s. It's a thing. But yeah, we're just gonna go and get started and let everyone introduce themselves and their characters. And you see, before a month ago, these characters didn't realize that aliens existed whatsoever. But they do have a lot of science fiction around this time. Like, science fiction was premiere in the 80s and 90s, I would say. So, what is your character's frame of reference? Like, what rules? What does their brain go to whenever they think about the real aliens in their world? Like, what do they compare it to? Yeah, I'm just pretty much asking what your piece of favorite science fiction media is, essentially. But yeah, we're gonna. And Star Wars doesn't count because Star Wars is a fantasy that just happens to take place in space. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But yeah, we're gonna start with Ollie as normal. Go ahead.
Well, hello, my name is Raul Alejandro Gonzalez Enriquez, but you can call me Ollie. And I'm playing Javier. And his favorite, or his point of reference for aliens and bullshit in this world right now would probably be like Stargate. Something that's like slightly militaristic and full of like absolute fucking nonsense. But like, yeah, it's fun. It makes sense if you don't think about it too much.
Good, Anna.
Sorry, I was suddenly choking.
Oh no! Don't die, please. That would not be nice.
Yeah, I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, TTRPG streamer, and podcaster. You can find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bun, and I play Riley the Stream. All around band geek and fantasy nerd. Riley doesn't read a lot of sci-fi, I don't think. She's very much into fantasy, but her point of reference would be Starship Troopers, the movie that just came out less than a year ago.
And you probably went to watch it because you heard that there was titties in it. Because let's be real. Like, when a movie comes out and there's titties in it, we're going. Nice. All right, Nielsen.
Hi, I'm Nielsen. I'm Tony the Battleborn, whose frame of reference is Star Trek because he's kind of basic like that, honestly. I feel like I'd pick Farscape around this time period, but
okay. So with that, Arnica with Effie, I'm thinking is like when Effie finally starts watching television, which one do you feel she relates to the most in the most accurate, and which one is she going, that's utter bullshit, I can't believe they would think that?
All right,
what is wrong
with humans? Hi, I'm Arnica. I wear my sunglasses at night because I'm still waiting for my replacement glasses to come in. Please let them come in tomorrow. And I'm playing Isherette, also known as Effie, your Andalite. And I think that the one that she thinks is the most bullshit is Star Trek. Absolutely. No, are you kidding me? Humans running around in charge of everything, and everyone's just all like, oh, let me help you, and I'm gonna come down and interfere. Look what happens when you interfere. And then you're all like, oh, but here's our prime directive. Ha 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 ha. And then you go and don't do it anyway. And no, you know what? We know exactly what happens when you go down and walk around amongst the little mud things. And it ends terribly. She hates Star Trek. She hates it. And here's the thing. Y'all don't know this. Val just said, Val just said we can't choose Star Wars, but that's her thing. It's Star Wars because she thinks that she's the Jedi because she doesn't know that the Jedi aren't the good guys. Just like an Andalite, Andalites are like Jedis. They both think they're the good guys, and all they do is just fuck up everything for everyone else with their fucking sense of superiority. So, have to break the rules, and the answer is Star Wars.
Star Wars. So it's not that like it's against the rules, is that I just don't consider Star Wars science fiction whatsoever.
It's
by
not.
All intents.
It is so space fantasy.
Oh my god, no. Who is this? Fuck. No. Stop. Where's my mods? Somebody help.
Oh no.
Don't hype.
But you understand, it's incredibly flexible and convenient.
I got it. I have 3 different versions of the chat open, and it's like, which one can I ban them on? But yeah, no, I don't consider Star Wars is fantasy that happens to take place in space. Like,
it is.
Because it's fucking magical, and like science fiction is not magical, it's science fiction. I think some of the books would have already been out at this point, but I actually, weirdly enough, my favorite science fiction around this time that I started to really read, didn't realize it was science fiction, but it's definitely science fiction, was Dragon Riders of Pern. So, which is, it is very problematic at this point. It started in the 60s, 70s. It is, Anne McCaffrey has some problematic views on homophobia and Mormons and, like,
gender essentialism
and things like that. But
even with all that,
of that, it was fucking cool.
It's good.
In fact, it is so cool. If you see my name here, Valdrianth, it's just my real name if I was a fucking dragon from the Pern. Like, that's where that comes from. Sort of thing. Except Adrianth just sounded stupid. So, like, I did some adjustments. But, hey nerds, what's up? Look at Nightbot doing its job while I'm about to talk about it. Anyway, this is a viewer-affected game. You can affect the games with your bitch subs and donations. Every 100 biddies that you give, to the channel, you can give a reroll to people who roll dice, which is everyone who's not me. I don't roll dice in this game whatsoever. Sometimes to make a decision I roll dice, but it doesn't have any mechanical effect. If you subscribe, you get an extra dice added to a roll to anyone here. And an extra dice could mean the difference between a success and a crit failure sometimes. So that's always nice, because if they don't have a dice, that's awful. If you donate through Coffee or Streamlabs, I think I want to say with like $5, I say that we're getting... What am I doing with the $5? I'm doing something for y'all for $5. Yeah, a $5 donation, you can give an auto crit to our friends here, which means that, yeah, I want to succeed successfully in this moment, which could turn the tide of this game completely. And if you give a $10 donation or more, you can give an idea. And the idea can be whatever you want, as long as it fits within the realm of what we're doing, on top of if it doesn't, like, fuck with our lines and veils. It's always at my discretion. I know what's going on here behind the scenes more than y'all do. Speaking of behind the scenes, we are taking care of ourselves with safety cards, because this is a game that takes place in the 90s in the South, and it's about child soldiers and everything that kind of comes along with that. And I mean everything. We're taking care of ourselves. Please take care of yourselves if something becomes too intense. Like shooting a cop. Well, not even shooting the cop, just bashing the cop's head against the concrete. Murder happened. A teenager murdered a cop last time. So... yeah, so with that, again, take care of yourselves, friends, because we're doing it. Let's jump into this. Recap. Y'all murdered a cop. The recap, essentially is the police picked up Tony and Javier because they were caught on camera at a convenience store together. Really, it was our Andalite morphed as Javier in what was reported as a stolen car. And they were arrested and brought to prison. Meanwhile, well, to jail, not necessarily prison. Meanwhile, you had Riley and Effie coming up with a plan to break them out. Tony and Javier were caught in jail with some roughnecks, actually, some rig workers, and learned some interesting things, sort of, kind of. And as they were being taken back by a controlled cop, because the cops own the controllers, as they were being taken back, essentially to be infested, a car crashed into the jailhouse, which was Effie as Javier, and led most of the cops out for a chase. But the one that didn't, y'all got into a tussle with, which ended up in a gun being drawn, and the death of this police officer. Tony is blamed for that. He did a deal with the devil, a space Satan, so to speak, and he can't go home. But Tony met someone very important before getting out, and like, Tony, I don't know if you want to have a moment there. You were given an order. As far as she was concerned, you were morphed this cop. Mm-hmm. She left, like the hologram went dead. And I believe she even told you to just take care of it in general. She does not care about the lives of these Yerks that are in there. Which was about enough to infest the rig, yourselves and the rig workers. About enough, because you kind of conclude there was a good chance at least 2 of them were already controllers, right? Mm-hmm. Javier's not there anymore. Javier, you'll probably even be behind an ambulance, in the back of an ambulance at this point. You are a minor. And it is an emergency, as you know. There's a lot of gunfire. It's just a terrorist attack. Like, at this point. Which we weren't in, like, terrorist attack fever yet in 98. But, yeah. What's going on, Tony?
Tony has kind of multi-pronged. My second thought, I realized that I can't really think of a way Tony had plotted, because in my brain, I've gotten too used to the world of cell phones. So Tony doesn't have a good way to try and pretend like a bunch of Andalites are around, other than talking to himself loudly, which is more suspicious than is worth it. So I think he's going to look around and grab whatever the advanced tech, like the hologram thing, that he can.
Ooh, okay.
I wouldn't exactly say salvage, because he's pretty much just going to try and rip it off of whatever's holding it without breaking it entirely. But
okay, it seems to have its own power source. Like, it's not plugged into anything. Go ahead and just real quick, and you're not in an engagement, so it's a fortune roll, but roll a tinker for me.
Okay.
Don't know if you have it.
I do not.
You don't have any tinker.
Which is why I said he's just going to try and brute force it, because he's like, oh, this could be useful. Mm-hmm. Hopefully I'm not going to destroy it. Oh, wow. Okay, a 5 and a 6 is good, though. So 5.
Yeah, so a 5. So what's really good is, like, obviously, not only do you not destroy it, but you do know if it doesn't have its power source, it can't be tracked. Like, you can kind of tell that, and there is something similar to a battery attached to it that you could rip off to keep the power from being towards it. That being said, if power does return to it, there is a good chance it could be tracked. That kind of stuff. And on top of that, I will also give you that in this office, you definitely see a large, thick, not manila folder, but those sort of like filing folders that have like the files inside of it on the desk, and it's labeled Project Ice Age. So you can grab onto that if you want. It looks, you can kind of see through, because it's like a clear translucent plastic. You can see that it has, at least at the top, what looks like a photograph of people, like of probably the people that were in the rig workers that were in the prison with you. So
Tony will try to take both of those things then, because that seems super useful. And then he is just going to... So these Zerk are all in a jar. He's not going to take the time to smash them all. I think he's just going to break the jar as he leaves.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost in like a large tank, like cylinder-like tank. Yep. So if you just want to push them over and break it, and they essentially not being in liquid or in a hose would just suffocate.
That seems like the easiest solution here.
Yeah. Cool. And I'm going to, and again, like, because this is sort of like just a normal scene, and between, like, with the chaos in you, despite the fact you are morphed like this cop, you are dressed in your Tony clothes. Yeah. But you probably know better not to take these clothes. I'm not going to make you any rolls, but I do want to know, like, how do you plan on, like, getting out?
Thing too. That makes it trickier. How big? Oh, no, and I have the file too. I think he's going to go back. I
will give you this. If you look at, there's going to be some windows in some of these rooms, and they have bars on them. The bars are wide enough for you to slip both a device and the files through the window.
Okay, well that's very simple then, because I will do that and then take the little bit of time to turn into my cat again.
Okay, yeah, as a cat, you can definitely get through these, because cats are liquid. Sort of even give this, Riley, you might even see this maybe happening at some point if you're still in the sky.
Yeah, I'm nearby, either on top of a building or in a tree, staying hidden, keeping line of sight on Javier.
Yeah. Okay.
Just making sure he's okay.
All right, cool. But there is thought speak, so if, you know, if, Tony, if you want to contact any of your friends through thought speak,
I'm going to try and contact any of them who are in range.
Yeah, all of them are in range.
Great.
I mean, Effie is like on the other side of the river, just like.
Just is kind of gonna have to be a well, I mean, I could send it to one person, but I don't know where everyone else is. Javier got out a little earlier. I found some stuff in here, but to get out of here, I don't think I have a form to carry it. If someone with like eagle or some sort of
giant bird,
something else that could carry a few things here.
I mean, I can pick it up. I'll have to leave this gun behind, but I can pick it up.
Just drop the gun in the river. you just have a gun.
Drop it nearby so I can come back and get it later.
You can
we may
leave
need
it with
it.
Effie if you want.
Yeah.
Just fly over Effie and drop it.
all right, but I only have 3 eyes, so I don't know how. My depth perception.
It's so off.
Yeah, I'll pick this stuff up. And before I leave the scene completely, I want to check in with Javier.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm trying to keep an eye on the other prisoners, see if they're being moved. They were going to be infected.
So here's what's up, Javier. You can't thought speak to when you're a person.
Right. In that case,
yeah.
just kind of looking up, seeing if I see a bird, just give a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. You do.
do like really cool, do that, and like scratch your neck.
Yeah, luckily, sorry, my phone was going off, so I have to do all this. So, like, luckily, like, as this scene is kind of, coming to a close, like, Javier, you are first checked out by an ambulance, like, you're a teenager, like, they ask if you need to go to the hospital, like, how are you feeling, sort of thing, and for the most part, you're gonna be free to go. Like, your mom's come and they come and get you, right? With a lawyer. Like, because there's nothing that they can hold you on now because they saw, like, someone who looked like you, and then the other person that was being held, like Tony, clearly something was up, but, like, as it is now, like, holding a minor right now in a moment of trauma is just not something that's going to be allowed. And the thing is that these cops aren't Visser 3 supporters, they're Visser 1 supporters, and they like to keep things quiet. They really do. So, you're going to be let go. Effie, as far as you being able to get away, you have a couple of animal morphs, or people morphs at your disposal. I would assume you crow it up to get the fuck out of there. Yeah, do you take the gun with you?
I don't. How big? What kind of gun is it? Was it a shotgun or a handgun? Is it?
It's a 9mm. Like, you know, it's a standard issue.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take it with me. Riley has brought it to me. Yeah, so I'm just a piece of a murder looking to bust off a piece of a murder, just flapping flapping through the sky, crow with a 9mm. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
I wish it was a shotgun.
To be fair, it was a bald eagle that gave the crow the gun.
I know. Listen, just all of the imagery that always comes from this is just always makes me happy. Just like the bald eagle gives the crow a gun.
Bald eagle with a gun could not be more American.
It's true. It's true. Speaking of, everybody is in. No, you're not in. Ollie, the Google.
I was though. What happened?
I know, you're just not there anymore.
Fixing it.
I just noticed there was a thing of black things. Regardless, all of y'all are able to get to safety, whatever that looks like for you. Tony, I assume that you find a way as a burb or a cat to make it to the hideout as well, right?
Yeah. Hopefully. Basically, my plan was cat until I'm far enough away I can duck somewhere and try and turn into bird.
Listen, yeah, not a problem. You are a cat. You can literally go anywhere in the city, especially up and down this river. There's like a bridge that crosses into the town over. That's a really easy place to turn into. Javier, you're not immediately going to be reunited with them, like, at that night, but sometime in the night, if you want to sneak out for y'all to meet up somewhere to reconvene and have a conversation, y'all can have that. I'm just going to give that one to you. So y'all are here together.
I will let my mom know I'm going to be out late.
Okay. Well, yeah, fair. That was the deal. You get a payphone, and you're just like, I'll be late. Like Javier just got. You just explain. You can just tell her the truth, and she would understand.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. For once, I can tell her the truth.
Sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all are together, wherever that is. Commence.
The guys, there's I don't know. She talked about the visors again. This lady on that thing you got. I took out the power source, so I think it should be safe. Tony,
Well,
like the little hologram thing. She sounded like she was fighting him in some way. Like not, so she definitely didn't like him.
that is
Well,
interesting.
Yeah,
We can
if
get to that
Visser is
in a
a title, maybe they're fighting for the same position.
Which Visser?
The one she mentioned was Visser 3. I don't think we got his actual name, so
He's the one that we fought before, isn't he?
he is, but I don't know if we were told that.
You confronted a Visser.
Yeah, and we did okay.
Yeah,
You did okay.
Yeah.
There was an elephant involved. We had to, figure it out.
We survived.
Also, does anyone know anything about red talking butterflies? Are there?
We actually need to talk about that. So
Effie is just like here, like, wait, what? Like,
Right,
it's like
she's
the red butterfly.
she's still like 3 minutes back. She ain't heard nothing about butterflies. She's still stuck on they encountered a Visser.
Yeah.
And she don't know what to do.
Okay. So I need to admit something to you guys. God, Tony, the thing you talked to, I've seen it before a few times. Its name is Sarlacc or some shit. He's
Crayak.
basically some shit. Sorry. He's some
Kayak.
cosmic
So black.
alien.
Like, what's going on with the subtitles? Yeah.
And I in moments when I was a bit overwhelmed, I kind of just wanted to not fail, and this thing just kind of happened, and I assumed, with all the stuff going around, I was just kind of insane. Turns out it's more real than I thought. The devil is real. Go figure. Effie, they appeared to be an alien life form. Are you familiar with this? It sort of looks like a floating eye of sorts, blazing.
No, I have never heard of a floating eye that is also a butterfly and a devil.
The devil part doesn't super matter. It's just seems to be overwhelmingly capable of doing things. Do you two remember Penelope and Heather?
Penelope's a cheerleader. And isn't Heather that girl who has all the dog stuff?
Yeah. Well, a little while ago, they were with us while we were fighting. And because I asked for help, from this thing a little while ago. He made me choose between. He referred to it as removing from the board 2 of our pieces, and he gave me the option between my parents and our allies, and I tried to pick. I really tried to pick my mom's. It would have been the better choice, but I just couldn't, and I'm sorry, and that I couldn't talk about it because I was scared. I'm really sorry, and I didn't know if it was a thing that was happening to everyone else, but when I saw it, Tony, we can never talk to that guy. That it's not worth it.
Okay. Are you? I don't. I mean, I know Penelope really well, but I don't remember her like even meeting you.
Can the 2 of you for me roll a resistance roll? Actually, I'm gonna have y'all roll a resolve resistance, please. As if you're trying to recall memories.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not going to count towards your stress if you have them. It's just going to be... it's more of a fortune resistance.
I got a 4.
Okay. Riley, did you want to try and recall?
I got 3 6s.
What?
I hope I don't need that roll later.
All right, so like with Tony, as you're kind of like saying this, you get this little pang of, okay, but like, because what you do remember is a second rhinoceros. Like you're not the only rhino, but with Heather, with Riley, what you recall almost very clearly, because your car is just right on your brain, is you get a flash of that first scene together in your car, and Heather is there, and Penelope is there, and Dogmetri is there, and you clearly remember Heather throwing the shotgun shells out of the car and exploding some bullshit, and you're like, they're also the reason that your car had to be impounded. Like, essentially, like you get a like that is a clear memory that you get.
You made a deal for us to forget. Our allies, were they friends?
Yes, they became our friends. They actually, I think they were kind of together, but I didn't make a deal to forget them. I didn't realize exactly what the deal was. But when he made me make a choice, and they made me make a choice, I picked them. And they seem to be alive and fine, but that is mostly just a happy coincidence. I didn't know what the results would be, and I was just too scared to pick my parents.
Effie, as they're kind of having this conversation and you're just sitting there, because it's just like, these are people I don't know or I'm concerned. I just got my eye shot off, and you're reeling over the fact that they messed with a Visser. And Tony said she doesn't like him. you wouldn't, like, every Andalite cadet knows the structure of the Yerk system. There is the Council of 13 that makes most of the decisions, and there is, the Visser structure is in fact a title. It is a general, and it starts with 1 and it goes down. And even though Visser 3 is currently, it's not that he is in charge of the invasion of Earth, out of like volunteer. It's because of how he felt about Elfangor, and he was chasing Elfangor, right? And he is essentially here now because there are Andalite bandits. Like, you're kind of coming to that conclusion because he's the only one that's kind of equipped with it, because he knows Andalites because he has one for a host. But the true master pine behind this invasion is Visser One, and you do know Visser One does have a human host. And there is infighting between the two of them. Whether you want to indulge in that, that is, it's up to you. But you do have this device, and you do have some paperwork. So,
I think that while they are all bickering about people who are not dead, so I'm not sure why they're angry. I can see I'm starting to figure out human faces a little bit.
mm-hmm.
Angry is a face that I've become pretty freaking familiar with. So I especially with the Riley, I recognize Riley's angry face. Oh no.
Angry is like, I think you've only
Riley's
seen an angry face from Riley.
Right? So I've got it. And that's not the, oh, you have said something slightly obnoxious to the Riley face. That is Riley's so unimpressed with me face. And I mean, it's not aimed at me, which is awesome. But I'm not sure why it is aimed anywhere else. Because this all seems very reasonable to me. Of course he didn't pick his parents. Like, I have 2 parents at home. I love my parents. I'm not picking my parents. I'm totally without here on that. No, don't pick your moms. Did Riley want him to pick him? No, of course not. Is he supposed to pick Tony? No. And someone just knocked at my door, and I think it's my mom's food, and I will be right there. Because I'm the only one here to get it.
Go get your mama's food. Yeah, you'll have some moments between the 3 of you. No longer have a car. A spare car, at the very least. You might get it back eventually, but you don't.
But it still can't be a spare car because they know who it belongs to.
Yeah.
We're stuck in the middle of this war. We really should not be making deals with creatures we don't even understand. And you made one too, Tony?
I guess definitely nothing like a giant eye and having to choose things happened exactly, but yeah, there was a price involved with its appearance, which was kind of weird. Yes. I suppose yeah.
Let's not hide things like this anymore.
Of course, I wasn't trying to hide it. I just couldn't find the words to say it. I'm sorry. Hey Val, quick thing. Did I ever actually encounter the butterfly? Was it always the wasp?
You have seen the butterfly. In fact, I think one time the butterfly actually had you run into the beam. if
Right.
I remember correctly. Like, you've seen it once, and it was less drastic, but like you have primarily have been contacted by Crayak. Yeah. But there is a second entity. Yeah.
Yeah. I just make sure I share that with everybody. Like, there is another one. There seem to be doing something involving all of us, whether the Yerk and the Andalites know anything about this. I don't know, but he made everyone forget, and that's an insane thing.
I don't want to say let's not do that ever again, because there may be a time where we have to and have no choice, but let's make it a heavy decision when we do.
That makes sense. I can't go home. I have so. Do you mind if I stay here with you, Effie? I shouldn't be going to your guys' house. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be like wanted now.
So Effie's just kind of over in the corner. She's opened up the box that you shoved through the window. She's flipping through it, but she looks over at you and goes, this is your base. I'm staying with you, really.
Goes back. Thank you.
So Effie, are you anything in here making sense to you?
So Val, what kind of information am I finding in this box?
In the folder, if you're going, go ahead and as you're just if you're flipping through the folder, because if you wanted to tinker with the device, that'd be one thing. But if as you're flipping through the folder, what kind of roll can I have you do? It would be a study or survey. And it's a fortune roll, so there's no, like, consequence.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look. I got
one in each.
Yeah, I got one on each, so I'm gonna. Oh, see, that's why it's wrong. I'm like, I got the wrong answer is what I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using the wrong roller today, and I accidentally just rolled 2 instead of 1. No, stop rolling all these, please. Clear. I don't know how to clear. I hate this thing. Singles. Okay, I got a 4.
All right, 4's not bad. Is your sort of you're like it just seems like these weird like applications for like something about drilling oil, blah blah blah, and you're going through all of this, but 2 words stick out to you as you're about to give up, and that is the word Sario Rip. And you know what that is.
Okay, say it again because the closed captioning didn't pick it up for me.
Sario Rip.
Okay.
And you know what that is. I'm asking, you, Arnica, do you know what that is? Like, do you know what that is?
I am trying to pull it from the back of my head.
Not a problem.
No,
I'll
go
tell
ahead
you what
and
it
just
is.
refresh me.
You, as an Andalite, would know that a Sario Rip is a phenomenon that happens where a large explosion occurs, and that explosion brings someone back in time.
Yes. Okay.
And you're like, what the fuck do the Yerks want with a Sario Rip? Like,
Okay, cool. So I'm having a totally normal day. I am not at all distressed. I definitely have not turned a very light shade. I have turned a very ashy kind of blue, y'all. Y'all didn't know I could turn colors like people could. But congratulations, I have turned pale. I do not look good. I have sat down like a drunk horse. I'm like, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is red butterfly bad. Your butterfly is bad, but so is this.
There's an actual butthole on screen now. Okay, cool. Sorry.
I literally checked everyone else's screens first, and I don't know why I was looking for human buttholes. I was.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's my cat. Sorry. Oh, so I'm tired. It's been a long week, y'all.
You
Y'all
got
gonna
it, honey.
leave me
Go
alone.
ahead.
So
This is bad.
yeah, everything's like this bad. They want to blow something up, and it will have to be very, very, very big.
Well, the people that were trying to infect earlier were oil rig workers. An explosion at an oil rig could be massive.
Big. These kind of explosions normally happen in space. They normally happen because vehicles capable of moving at extremely high speeds, possibly through Z-space, malfunction. I don't think we should have this kind of explosion happening on your little planet. Very big.
That sounds like our next mission.
They're like a fuel or something they use? Because technically, if they get the entire set of workers, they could dig for pretty much anything, really.
I don't know how they would. This particular explosion, and I'm torn because this is absolutely not information. This is not information to give planet-bound creatures who are nowhere near on the same tech level. But also, I love hubris. I love pride. It's like my favorite 3 sins and virtues all together. I'm so proud of myself. This is not work for one little Andalite. I absolutely need. If I have never trusted y'all before, know that I trust y'all now as I say no. This explosion moves through time. And I don't know time here. I don't know what they want. I don't know where to look. I don't know what to do.
Why does this war keep getting worse? Every week.
Very particularly, Effie, just from the little information that you got, it is possible that Visser One is interested in a Sario Rip. And she is the masterminds of masterminds when it comes to this invasion.
She's looking at it because she's already told them so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I don't need anything. And yes, they said they fought a Visser, and they said 3. And I don't know how the hell they got away from an Andalite Visser. but they said they did. They obviously did. They're here. They know the word. This is not something that they could have made up to impress me. Because they have no idea how much I am impressed. I can't say that way. I'm too scared because there are explosions. There are explosions. If there weren't explosions, you'd be seeing my very impressed face. But I don't know. Effie does not know whether or not to extend this conversation to cover Visser One now or later. Like, is this because making it past Visser 3 is one thing. Catching the attention of Visser 1 is an entirely different matter. I've never dealt with one Visser. I don't have it in me, I don't think, right now, to have the attention of two of them on me. And them means me. So I'm not going to specifically hide it, but I'm not going to mention it right now.
It is late. I could always sleep on it.
There was a lot going on. Maybe we rest and regroup. Try to figure something out. I'm not sure if the oil rig is honestly strong enough to create the explosion that you're talking about, but it seems to be our only lead at the moment. So let's have that be our first goal for now.
Right. As y'all disperse and rest and recoup, we can start thinking about our downtime activities that you can do. Everyone gets 2 downtime activities for a phase, or you spin rep, and you can get a third one if you so please. We will have this downtime activity happen over the course of a week, before we enter into some information gathering type phases, because I don't know if this is something that y'all want to sit on for very long. And for the record, you all, and just as the resources at your disposal, you have contacts, you have another Andalite that y'all have some form of communicating with at some point. You have this device, you have Effie's ship. There are resources out there for you to look into. But that being said, who has ideas for their first downtime? Tony, you are camping for the foreseeable future. Luckily for you, you do have like a human morph that you can turn into to go into town with at any time to get like your like supplies, as far as like sleeping bags, camping supplies, and really, honestly, stealing camping supplies right now is fairly easy because you're about to go into, it's almost hunting season, so it's everywhere on Walmart. Like, whatever you want, that's getting supplies for that is not an issue. But if you want to make a scene out of it, that's something we can do. But yeah, what we doing?
That before we get into downtime that night, after the jailbreak and all that, when Javier sneaks back to his house, I think Riley goes with him and stays for a little bit, and just cries, sitting there with him or laying there, whatever, in his room, just cries because of all the stress from that day and the roller coaster of emotion that entire Friday was.
Can we actually have a small scene in this, if that's okay?
Yeah, I this is our game. We play by our rules. Do it.
While you're there crying, I think it's it's a shared thing. Like he's trying not to cry because he knows that when other people are sad, he wants to try to be, consoling. But I think at some point in that he kind of Riley, I know that you were mad with what I did, but why aren't you more mad about it? Why are you okay with what I did? I'm not okay with what I did.
We're in the middle of a war. We're having to make difficult choices. And selfishly, I'm just glad you didn't pick me.
There is, I think, currently 7 billion people I'd pick before I pick you. I would pick myself a million times before then. I have said and done some awful things, and it always comes down to this is the logical choice. And when it came down to a time when I needed to make the logical choice, I didn't, and I lied about it, or at least I hid it. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted you to be mad at me, I guess.
I don't know if you made the right choice or not, but the choice that you made, and I have to keep moving forward. I don't know. Everything we do is just a guess. We're just swinging in the dark. I was so worried tonight that with you getting arrested, this was something that, even if we broke you out, that it would be something that we couldn't fix.
There's a lot of things that I think are a little outside of our realms of possibility, but they're not very many if we're working together. I wasn't scared when I was in the prison because I knew I was with Tony and that you guys were out there. And what I'm saying is, even if things didn't go as well as they did in whatever version of this is, we would have found a way. Just like we're gonna find a way. Even if it doesn't really make any sense.
There's just so much. And I feel like every day we have to go to school and smile and pretend that everything's fine, and I am just falling apart. I can't sleep at night. All I hear is bone crunching, and Mr. Kadir is saying thank you. And I see his wife in the window, and I am just so exhausted. And I feel so broken. I don't know what to do.
He kind of like takes his hands and puts them around your face and gives you a kiss on your forehead. Riley, you are the strongest person I know. Only thing that we can do right now is just keep trying. If you can't sleep, you can stay up with me for as long as you need. Okay, I will also keep you company.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that probably is where the scene just kind of fades away. Side note, thanks for being not so mad at me.
I guess I can start with the downtime.
Let's go. What we
I'm
doing?
going. So, I think the first downtime I'm going to do is reduce heat. And I think my plan over the week is to, if Effie is willing, I'm going to take some blurry photos of a blue centaur in the woods and then bring them a town or two over to try and make it look like this weird alien is moving and there are sightings further out from where we are.
Effie, are you willing?
All right. So I am argumentative about it. I am deeply. This whole thing right now, everything is still technically. I've broken so many rules. I've broken all these rules, which is fine. But everything is still technically under control because there's still a whole world that has no idea of what's going on. So really, we can just kind of pretend like none of this ever happened. These are pictures. I'm definitely not supposed to have pictures taken of me. I don't know what to do. This is fine. This is terrible. This is fine. This is terrible. Effie's decision making has suffered over the past couple days. This paranoia of water in general. She's never really been scared of anything. She's starting to get scared of things, and it's making her doubt herself. And she's going to make the terrible decision of letting Riley take some pictures of her.
Yeah. And I'll give it to you this. Like, y'all would know the forest that y'all are in, your hideout is a little bit more unique to the area. It is a national forest, which is why not a lot of hunting is done there. But because it's kind of like on that central north end of the state, it's a lot more woodland. And so if you took pictures there, like anyone worth their mettle in the ecology of this area would know of that forest. So you would probably want to go somewhere else in that area to take those pictures.
We can go on a small road trip.
Yeah. So y'all end up going to what you do know is there is also some protected land just southeast of y'all, and not necessarily a city, but it's more of a large town, almost a city, where very recently a new casino has been built because there is indigenous land there, and they're like, bitch, we're making money, let's go. Like, but also on this land there is some incredibly marshy, swampy, and it's probably about 45 miles from where y'all are at. So it's close enough to where it's not sus for you to go there, because one of the coolest things about this, for example, like this casino, is that it also has the largest arcade in the state. So going there with Javier is not weird for you. Like, it's like, let's go. And y'all, or as minors can go, when under 21 would be able to get to the arcade section because it is not part of the casino. But yeah, that's sort of the story that would be spun to why you'd be there. But there is some land there that is swampy as hell. The thing you would have to watch out for is it's early November at this time, so you would not want to do a weekend. You'd probably want to do the weekdays in the middle of the day, not in the early morning or the evening, because guess what's happening in the morning and the evenings? They're deer hunting. So you want to be careful with that, but y'all are able to manage to find some time on a Monday afternoon to be able to do this. So what role are you doing? And I'll let you have an extra dice because Effie's with you as help technically without taking stress. I will allow that. What are you rolling?
Can this be a study? I'm not really sure what taking photographs, purposely blurry photographs.
Honestly,
finesse.
Your best results would be with sway.
Okay.
Like the best I would say would be with sway because you are trying to convince somebody of something either that's true or untrue.
Then I have an extra, you said from help. That gives me 2. It's a 6 and a 4.
Excellent. So that's a full success. You're able to get very easily, just the a disposable camera. And I think with that in mind, you don't take it to get that is the question. Do you take it to the Walmart or the Walgreens? Well, it wouldn't be Walgreens, the Eckards, to get it processed before you mail it off, or do you just mail the camera off?
Getting it processed and leaving it there would work. Us being seen. If I don't know, could Effie get another human?
Well, here's the thing. So in real life, for 15 years, my mother worked for a film development company. The absolute best thing to do right now is to drop it off with fake return information, because as soon as it gets there, everyone in that plant, that entire camera is processed by hand in 1997. Every frame of it is seen by at least 5 different people. Copies of weird shit are made and passed around.
That's what I'm thinking, is we just have to get it.
Meanwhile, if you do it by the hour at the new thing, the only one who sees it is the one little person. Dropbox that bitch.
Yeah. You just Dropbox it there in the drive-thru even. Just leave it there for it to be processed with fake return. What return address do you put on there? Do you put wildlife and fisheries? Do you put cops? Like, what is who do you want it to go to is essentially my question. You could put that return address on there. It can go directly to them.
We can't be too on the nose. Like, we can't do the National Guard because they'll know that it was sent to them because
yeah.
It gotta be wildlife
and fisheries.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. Like, the only other thing I could think of that would be a better idea is if y'all knew of a conspiracy website to send it to.
Yeah.
But y'all, I don't think y'all do. But yeah, that is incredibly successful. And let me see And you rolled a 6, right?
Yes.
When heat track feels clear at mark 1 level, roll the remaining
You send it
heat.
to the History Channel. We can be responsible for the aliens guy.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Just seeing exactly how the reduction works. Roll the action to reduce heat. You rolled a 6, so that's pretty much all of your heat. That is all of your heat. That works.
Damn.
Like,
See, when the guys aren't around, we get shit done.
right? That works. And the thing is that because that works, essentially there is going to be less concentration on in your city. A lot of it is going to be looking into 45 miles away from y'all. Looking for whatever controller is in wildlife and fisheries, if the controllers even get it. But regardless, the heat in your hometown for now is fine. No one's looking. No one. You are off the radar as of right now. Wanted, but they're just looking in the wrong place.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
As we're driving back, does everyone want to go to the arcade? Or are we just driving back?
He absolutely wants to go to the arcade.
Awesome.
I've never seen anything like this before. You king's gonna be baller.
Light sounds. I think we're playing Soul Calibur in the cabinet.
Yeah. Are you also gonna reduce your stress with the arcade playing?
I don't have any stress, so I.
Oh, that's right. You're fine.
And I say we are stressless. Too traumatized to be stressed.
You're introduced to Mortal Kombat, like.
Definitely Soul Calibur.
And Soul
Riley's a
Calibur.
Soul Calibur girl.
There you go.
Hell yeah. So God was what's up.
But yeah, while we're playing, since it's so loud around us, it kind of allows for a quiet conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for helping with Javier, and you've started sticking your neck out for us. I may have misjudged you when we first met.
And if he just button mashes, she's just going for it, hitting all the buttons way too hard, staring very intently at the screen and going, "No, you judged me pretty fairly, but it's different now. You're different than I thought you were. I like what you are, I think."
Thank
And I
you.
do a combo. I accidentally kill you, dude. I don't know how I've done it, but just know that I accidentally killed your dude.
You are pretty good at this. Do they have video games where you're from?
Not like this. Not to play with. Just for fun. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of effort. But they're excellent reflexive training skills. They're just kind of like this. So, pretty much I'm used to shooters where you actually shoot shit.
I'm gonna kind of double down on
Drone
this.
training.
Is playing video games in any way, because I know you said you wanted to train up a skill. Are you going to use your arcade time to train up anything?
Ooh, let me look at my stuff real quick.
Mm-hmm. It's the skill training. Obviously, there's the playbook training. The skill training itself is: are you training your resolve, your body, or your insight?
I'm going to say that this trains my insight. Specifically because spending this time playing video games with Riley is helping me connect with, one, Riley, two, how people think about things.
Yeah.
Like this is just for fun, but also it does a thing. My hand-eye coordination, yes, but also this is fun. So I'm gonna say my insight.
Okay. Go ahead and put a tick in your insight for that scene, since that is part of one of your downtime activities.
Yeah.
All right, boys. What's how y'all with that scene? Actually, we're about 5 minutes to our normal break time. So I think what I'll do, I'll call the break now, and then we'll come back and we'll continue with before we just start another scene, unless y'all have something y'all want to say to wrap up the scene itself. Other than y'all winning.
I think Riley picked up on defensiveness the first couple times she talked with Effie.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to just take a shot. I've been bullied a lot too by my peers.
It's gonna be a long silence, like almost long enough that you think Effie's not going to say anything before she snorts and goes, "Well, that is stupid because you are definitely one of the more superior humans I've ever seen."
I appreciate that sentiment. Well, if you ever want to talk, I'm here. But in the meantime, let's buy you some candy before we drive home.
Well, that's it. If I didn't look like Javier before, just the "you are the most wonderful thing" expression I'm giving you on Javier's face, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that's Javier. Look at him just staring at Riley again, just like young the moon." Below, a thing to put in the mouth hole.
It's very uncanny valley for you,
that.
Riley.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But I feel like a pound of candy for the 45-minute drive.
Yeah, and
You
it's
went
like
on a date with
driving,
me without
so
me.
it's like a 45-minute drive, yeah. Uh-huh.
You did, and that will come up later.
What kind of candy? What do y'all go?
Sour candy.
Oh,
sour candy. That's what Riley would want too. So.
Some sour, wire warheads.
It's the height of warheads.
It is the height of warheads. Excellent.
Buds are going to be swollen by the time we get back.
Right? So, as you know, your cheeks are. We're gonna go ahead and switch to break before we get into the other 2/3 of our downtime. So we will be back in about 10 minutes. So get a snack, get some bio, take care of yourself, stretch, all that good stuff, and we'll see you soon. Some nerds, we're back. I see 4 is in chat right now. Just to let you all know, on the forefront here in Twitch chat, give 4 a follow. 4 is the creator of the skin of the hack that we are using with Hacks in the Dark. And it's we're playing very rules light, so if it's not accurate to both Blades in the Dark or the skin, that's because it's our game. We make the rules. But anyway, we're back in the midst of downtime activity. And we are going to go to Tony, Tony is becoming one with the wilderness, so to speak. Luckily, he has an adult human man that he can pretend to be.
I have 2 because I also have the principal from
you
last
have
season.
2 adult humans that you can pretend to be,
And 1 minor.
Yeah, like it's just kind of strange because like y'all have no issue just like turning into other people, and like where this is like a huge dilemma in the books. It's like, do we have the right to even do this? Are we better than the Yerks by doing this? Like, and you know, it is interesting. Yeah,
there is ethical questions there.
Yeah, ethical questions. What you doing, Tony? What is your
Tony, the first... It's vexing, because one of the things I'm going to end up doing at some point is not anything related to downtime, per se. But the first thing I think is I'm going to try and acquire another more battle-oriented morph. Something where I can fight and see as much as Tony likes the rhino, sometimes having eyesight that's more than a few feet in front of him is useful.
Okay. Are you gonna try and look for something locally, or are you going to try to go into the zoo at any point?
Actually, especially since that's there with me, I want to look through these documents we got and see where this rig or whatever they were working on is. If it's like
it's in the Gulf of Mexico.
Or...
Like it's in the middle of the Gulf. Yeah.
So then, I think. Now I don't remember enough animal facts.
What facts do you need to know? Because I have a plethora of animal facts.
One of the types, I think it's a gator. One of the crocs or gators can do ocean easier.
So, here's what's up.
Not far out into the ocean.
It's far out into the ocean.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's and there's reasons why these rigs are far out into the ocean is because of accidents, right?
Yeah. Getting a shark would be a little more difficult than I'd like.
You're about 3 hours north of the coast. However, y'all are about an 8-hour drive from a SeaWorld. I'm gonna put that
I just
out there
have to
for
know
y'all
offhand
at some
that
point.
there's someone else wanted to get dolphins at SeaWorld, so I'm going to try and diversify still. You know what? Actually, fuck, I don't have I need to talk to Riley about things anyway, so...
You want to find an animal, right?
But yeah, I think SeaWorld will work, because I don't know where it is in touring.
I'm just straight up looking at y'all right now. If y'all want to go into a marine zoo that is not locally, that's a mission.
That's true.
Like that is straight up a mission. For the record, the closest SeaWorld to y'all would be San Antonio.
I think I'll just look for something local then, because we still will need other shit around.
You want something strong and local.
The logistics of getting that far with Tony no longer having vehicle access is a little trickier than I'd like.
Yeah. Texas is big. All right, let's see. I had a list of locally. What are you? So when I say locally, I mean like in the forest.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
we're right at
okay.
a forest here.
Yeah, local Louisiana wildlife. I gotcha. I'm gonna put a list here of rarity, big guys to least rare. We're gonna have this guy. This guy. Are you looking for something specific on ground or does flying matter? Like size wise, what are you looking at?
I think flying will be difficult, but if there is a chance to get like a decent sized owl or something, that would be awesome. But
and I'm gonna go ahead and put in this for
just
funsies.
because there's a lot we could do with an owl that we currently can't.
Yeah, no, there is a lot you could do with an owl. Go ahead and roll me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm gonna put one more animal here. Hold on.
Okay.
Aww. Just trying to think. I got it. Go ahead and roll me a d8.
Excellent. Right in the middle, 4.
A 4. Well, it's fairly easy to find them. Because it's the fall. You've been hanging out outside, and every night you hear them.
Ooh.
There's a pack of coyotes. And coyotes can get fairly large, especially eastern coyotes. There's a good chance that they are hybrid in a sense. But there has been a fairly large coyote pack that has been wandering your campsite. Are you interested in getting a coyote?
Yeah, actually, coyote would be. I think so. I feel like a coyote's a good choice. There's a lot of useful. Tony's definitely more of in the combat bot than some of his others, so yeah.
How do you plan on luring a coyote close enough
That is
to
the
touch
question. Oh no.
it? Are these so? They're
That
not
is
that
such a good
coyotes.
plan.
Oh my god. What?
You have people you can call on for bait.
I'm aware. That's why I said, oh no. Hey, Effie.
Effie's always come for Effie for help. Let's go.
I'm living here
I
with
know.
her at the
I love
moment.
it. I'm here
And
for
she
it.
has a deer morph.
She does.
All right, so I look
Would
over.
you be willing to play bait?
For what?
The sounds we're hearing at night are a pack animal. So it'd be really not a great idea for me just to go like find one or to show up in something that would be more formidable than them. But if we could lure them a little bit, long enough for me to touch one, it would be very useful. They have really good sense of smell. And to be honest, I feel like we just need to get more things that we can't do as humans if we're going to fight these things.
Yes, but I want one too.
that would be doable. I feel like with the two of us, even if we just are using ourselves as bait, after the first little second, we should hopefully be okay. Especially if, yeah, hopefully.
Now, what's the likelihood of a coyote pack being willing to come investigate me? Because technically I am smaller than a deer.
Yeah, you are.
I probably
Well, you're about the same as a whitetail. Like whitetails are, honestly, just not even just you. Y'all could also possibly even just set some. Ooh, one of the things that you could also do is that there are, in this old camp, there's an old water treatment facility, and as part of that water treatment facility, there's just holes in the ground. Like there's a grid, and there's like an 8-foot drop, like in between the grid. We used to call it the grid. It's very dangerous. Like it's an old water treatment, like sewage thing. Most of it is overgrown. Y'all could rig that into a trap.
Yeah, if there's that big of an easily accessible pit.
Mm-hmm.
Effie wouldn't want to drop the dog things in the pit. They would get hurt. Like she would.
It's water.
She would, and she's definitely not going in the water to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
She would rather stand there and look like a poor little help. Oh,
once I
limp around,
touch it in the water, we can get it back out though, and make sure it's not going to be hurt. We have bandages and stuff around.
What if it drowns?
They're really good swimmers.
Yeah,
are they really good swimmers when they are?
Have good swimming ability usually.
Even when they're being acquired, and thus they're in a state of hypnosis.
Be down there as long as it's not trying to like bite and thrash at me. It shouldn't be too difficult for me to make sure it doesn't drown.
The biggest thing you would have to worry about getting bit by a coyote is contracting rabies. However, canonly, you can get over rabies if you morph into something that the rabies virus can't incubate in.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, that is canon. Because getting bit by getting rabies right now would be terrible.
Actually, if you're concerned about it, we could also get Riley over here. Her mom, at least, is a vet, and she might be able to procure things to make sure that is safe. I'm aware. Well, I don't know if Tony realizes how different the different veterinary practices are.
I will straight
he's probably only dealt with a pet vet.
Listen, if y'all all want to be involved in the coyote culling, I will straight up let all of you get coyotes. But it's also not a bad idea to just acquire as many animals as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You gotta ask Riley for assistance for that as well.
I mean, of course I'll help. Yeah. I don't want a coyote. I have a different animal that I'm going after later in downtime.
Okay.
But I'll help.
Yeah.
It's technically Tony's downtime, but if y'all all, like I said, if you help, I would give it all to you for free. If you're physically involved in the scene. Yeah. Without using your action.
So what is this plan? What is the plan
how are y'all
going
gonna get
with?
These little doggos?
Honestly, if involving the rest of you get folks are usually the plan. At the moment, I think we should just put a trap And honestly, if we're doing it that way, I can even be the bait.
We can.
And then we just need to make sure we have something nearby.
Coyotes do like cats.
Yeah, I'm aware. We just need to make sure we have people nearby to A, make sure the coyotes aren't actually hurt by this when we take it back out, and B, that I'm or whoever is not, mauled by a pack of coyotes.
I can help keep them away.
Okay.
I can help trap the coyotes. One of my morphs. With Effie, we could net him up.
Oh.
Get a big old net.
Yeah.
Go with the net trap instead of a pit trap? I mean,
that way we don't have to worry about Effie's, worries.
All right.
That water is gross. It is deep and gross, and they will drown. You're not going to convince her they're not going to drown. Everything is going to drown for the next 2 weeks.
I'm also going to point this out. I'm just going to point this out. Who here actually plans on getting more morphs this time around for these downtimes? All of you? Okay. Y'all could just go to the zoo. If y'all all want animals.
So we were hoping, Javier and Riley were hoping that there was an aquarium somewhere that we could maybe swim with the dolphins. Pay to swim with the dolphins. Is that possible, or is SeaWorld the closest place?
SeaWorld, okay. The other option is just south in a saline lake, Lake Calcasieu. There are bottlenose dolphin sightings. But you would have to look for them there.
That's fine. Javier and I will go on a date to the lake.
To the lake? Or y'all could go to SeaWorld. A whole SeaWorld.
We would, but it's a mission.
That is true. That is true. It's probably something that I would even say, out of characterly, having an ocean morph is something I'm going to want all of you to have at some point. By very soon. So I had planned on actually sending y'all to get an ocean morph. Hey Mayor, thanks for the raid.
If that's the case.
Yeah. Aquarium wise is going to be an issue. The closest aquarium would be New Orleans. New Orleans does have an aquarium, if I am not mistaken. It actually is an incredible zoo. The Audubon Aquarium of the Americas is what it's called. We can see what animals they have now, and if they're there, I would think. They do have alligators, they have penguins, they have sharks. And here's the thing with the with the New Orleans Zoo, if y'all wanted to go down to New Orleans, for example, to get animals, your mom could probably get you free tickets to these things, because the Audubon exhibitions are well renowned, oddly enough. But that's where you would have to go. Let me see something real quick. There are a number of rescue dolphins, or the animals that are at the aquarium, the cetaceans that are at the aquarium are usually rescues that are in recovery. So you would definitely have to find out if they were there. But there are also penguins and sea lions, and Yeah, there seems to be some. They do have a dolphin recovery in New Orleans, so you would probably get some dolphins. Well, let's get back to Tony. Tony,
Yeah.
you want some coyotes?
Yeah.
That's what you can get in the wild. If you want to go to your zoo, your options are fucking greater.
It's true. It's just a little. We'd have. Well,
You have a sparrow morph. You could sneak in. Like, this
I
is just
could
something that
fly
you
in
can
there at
do
night,
locally.
I suppose. Yeah, that's smart. I was not even thinking of that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go on a field trip, Effie?
Yes.
Okay. Let's become some birds.
In the evening, some burbs.
Yep.
Burbs.
Now, what do you want? So you want something that is a heavy hitter but has good eyesight. You definitely don't want bears.
Yeah.
As good as great as bears are, bears have shitty eyesight.
Indeed.
Big cat wise, you have lions, you have Bengal tigers. Large animals, there are Asian elephants present. There are other carnivores. You'll have mountain lions, you will have alligators, you will have coyotes, you will have gray wolves are there, and red wolves are there as well. Probably like 3 very endangered species. Very noticeable if people do see them in the wild. Bird wise, there's that bald eagle hanging out. There's a golden eagle. There's plenty of some of the more common animals that you would see at the zoo. They're here. What are you?
Okay.
What are you feeling?
Oh man. I actually thinking about it, and as we were talking of night things,
Mm-hmm.
Several of the more common large owls are often in the zoos, especially if they have a fancy bird one.
Yeah.
And it would be really useful to have something with great night vision.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they fly really quietly.
They do fly really quietly. You want to get a great horned owl?
Yeah. I was trying to decide of which ones, but I decided I'll just go with your knowledge because it's quicker than me trying to Google.
What kind of owls do you want? Yeah, and great horned owls are also local, so it wouldn't be too weird to see one
Which is
out and about.
the other good part,
Yeah.
and that was that I was going to also check because I'm like, tigers are cool, but we also already have panther and eagle and rhino and having more things.
Gorilla.
More things that aren't going to raise too many alarm bells just to see.
You know what? And here's the thing. Now y'all get to have a wonderful little tour. There are obviously some guards, but as a sparrow and a crow, Effie, you get a nice little zoo tour. With all of these phenomenal Earth species at your disposal.
Now you know what we're talking about when we mention a random one.
These things are bizarre. I am very interested in the moose. I don't go too close, but I like
The moose is there. You're like, that is the biggest deer you have ever seen. Like, how is something?
I am impressed by that big rack on him. I circle him once or twice.
And if you think the moose is crazy, well, till you see the giraffe.
I do. The giraffe is just, what is all this?
Yeah.
More neck than best genus. Why? I look at giraffes. The giraffes are interesting. But no, I think, what do they have in terms of primates at the zoo?
They have the gorillas, just like there's the gorillas, there's an orangutan, and there's spider monkeys for sure. Spider monkeys and howler monkeys.
Chimpanzees?
Yep, they're definitely chimps.
What a chimpanzee! It's just sitting there, and it just it creeps me out, but in all the best
Because like that
ways.
is almost human. Like what the
It
hell
is
is
almost. I
Yeah.
can see that it's thinking. It's not thinking quite as. It's not thinking at a completely sentient level, but it's so close. There's so much. There's so much teeth, but that's a brain that can be used. That's a brain that you're not gonna lose yourself in.
Here's what's gonna happen at some point though. Like if you as the Andalite is anywhere in that chip thing, it's gonna start like fucking screaming. Like, and it's gonna throw shit at you. Literal shit at you. Like,
I mean, these are the terrible lessons we learn when we want a chimpanzee, aren't they?
like, and you know, and it's on its bars and it's like swinging around. Like meanwhile, Tony's like, you know, very gently touching like an owl's breast, like,
oh yeah,
with the back of its hands.
Okay.
You have an owl, and like there's this chimp, like, yeah, I'm gonna fight you, like not at all the calm, sweet demeanor that the gorilla was. Like the gorilla's probably like, what are those chimps yelling about? Like,
so it is obviously, this is obviously a great choice. Look at how aggressive this thing is. It's so angry and it's so loud. Surely this is a battle war. I want it. So it's screaming and hollering, and I'm coming in kind of sideways. I'm doing that little sideways horse step where you're coming in but you're ready to bolt. And so I'm coming in as close as I can to the cage.
oh. It's like, honestly, if you had a banana, it'd probably be fine. But you don't have a banana. Like, it doesn't know what the fuck you are. Like, here is the thing. This chimpanzee wants to do exactly what our ancestors have done their entire lives to survive. Our common ancestors. It sees something it doesn't like, it's gonna murder it. So this chimpanzee would like to murder you now. Like, the owl's just
so
vibing.
Now the fun game is gonna be, can I slap it before it slaps me?
If it slaps you, you can still acquire it.
I know, but that way will hurt.
And here's the thing, you can take an injury and you know, if you take an injury, you can uninjure yourself. But
I don't want to, so that's why I'm going in sideways like a horse.
This is what I'm going to have you do. I'm actually going to have you roll a resistance roll because he will attack you. And you will take some kind of stress, an injury, a little stress and a little injury from this because it's not. It's a mad. Y'all would have had to do something similar to the coyotes, but like the owl's fucking chill, bro. Like, not the chimp. Like, so do you have an owl? Like,
Hell yeah.
It's probably has like a broken wing, but that's fine. Like, because it's not gonna translate. It's a giant raptor in recovery, just hooting at you. In fact, you know that with Riley, you would have known where like the frozen food was to just feed the owl.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but then you have Effie. It's like, ooh, look at this guy,
right? Like you thought the chimpanzees were just hollering because I walked by. You gonna turn around just in time to see me get too close.
What's your body resistance?
Okay, what is my body resistance? Let's take a look. I add up all my gray ones, correct?
Correct.
All right, it's 4.
All right. Roll 4 dice.
All right, so I roll 4. I got an 11.
Well, what's your highest number?
My highest number is piece of shit dice roller. Are you kidding me? I'm using the garbage one and it's not showing me. Show me. Which button do I push for you to show me? Single 4, average 14. You know what? I'm gonna just go use Google Dice Roller because that didn't work. or a d6. And I got 3 5s and a 6.
All right, so luckily, like, you're able to. It comes to like punch you. It comes to like punch you in the chest, and like as it goes to like punch you in the chest, you just like as it makes contact, you're able to grab onto its wrist and start your acquiring process. And luckily for you, because you rolled 6, it kind of knocks the wind out of you, but you're fine. Like, you're fine. Like, the other chimpanzees are like, oh! And they all stop and they look as you have, like, made this chimp, like, stop. Like, the alpha, the big guy chimp, right? The daddy chimp just stop. And it just, like, stares at you blankly as you acquire the chimpanzee. And this is kind of like when you start to see, like, flashlights coming around, so you can hurry up, the two of you, and bird out of there before security gets you, because it, like, you leave the chimp there, it just kind of, like, and then when the guards come and flash, like, the chimp just, like, comes to you, and it's like, ah! And it screams, and it shits itself, and it throws it at the guards. Like... which is cool, because that's, unless Effie wants to spend some rep, like, that makes 2 of your downtime, it sounds like, that you can get. We still have stuff from Javier. We'll switch scenes and see what Javier, as y'all have gotten some animals. No problem. So, like I said, the bird, not an issue. They're caged. Like, you could just go and touch them. Whereas, like, you had to pick a chimp. Like, I couldn't make that easy for you. There's nothing. Chimpanzees are the worst.
We watched Nope in the last, like, 2 weeks. And he said Battle Morph, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm going to rip the jaw off somebody.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. All right, Javier, what's some of your downtime looks like?
Yeah, I need to do some training. I need to XP up. What does it look like to train like a playbook XP? Is that different or?
So your playbook is the Prince, which is sort of like a leadership sort of role playbook. So what does that look like for you? You're saying that you're doing it. There's no role for it. You're just training your playbook. Okay. Yeah. What does it look like for you to be better at your playbook?
So the thing is, I'm not trying to be better at my playbook. I'm trying to take up one of my empty slots and grab a different ability. I'm got a few ticks left in my playbook to level it up. I'm not sure if that's how that works, but I'm trying to acquire the their everywhere ability from the Joker. And to do so, I think I want to go meet a friend of mine, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I want to spend some time with Harold King, who's usually just like a homeless guy who hangs out in the park and plays chess. And my hope was to try and spend time out with him and when any of his friends who are doing the same thing as him, and see if I can just watch and notice small like demeanor changes. Try to track how people look when they're being actually themselves versus trying to put up a front. Like when you're playing chess, you're trying to act that everything's fine, that you know what's happening.
It is a little different from that ability, but yeah, I just have to check something.
Okay.
I have to check something. Harold, you said, right?
Yeah.
So Harold, when you kind of go looking for him in his usual spot, He kind of likes to hang out. His usual spot is a park that's kind of, in fact, it's the same park that y'all even had like a that sharing meeting at, right? You notice that he specifically is not there. There's a couple other people that you recognize, but Harold's not there. You can ask about him.
Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
I let them go and just kind of ask around the community if they've seen Harold in a while, if he's packed.
Yeah, they're a woman who sort of hanging out, getting her fire going in the tin barrel. She's like, "Oh, Harold. Well, last time I saw Harold, he said he got him a job."
He got himself a job.
Yeah,
that's
some.
great, I guess. You know where?
There are some people coming around from that group, and they were just like, we just need people to clean, to clean facilities, because they got they built a new community building. So no, we not see Harold, because I think he got him a job, and I think they got him a place to stay.
Okay. Thanks.
She holds out her hand.
Yeah, fine. We'll give her a buck or two, whatever you can.
Ooh, I'm gonna go to the McDonald's. Gonna eat good tonight. Maybe even the Piccadilly at the mall. Yeah. Arnica did, yes, Piccadilly! Like Arnica knows!
I'm not going to say that there's a teddy bear in my unpacked room right now from when I was 3 years old named Piccadilly, because that was my favorite place to eat, but there is a 37-year-old teddy bear in my room right now.
Some of the best fried chicken you ever gonna get was at Piccadilly.
So
shit. And then you had like whatever pie you... Jesus Christ. Sorry, just reminiscent about being a child in the 90s. Continue.
But yeah, I think despite the fact that Harold is no longer around, I still do plan to just kind of try to do observational training. And pick up on mannerisms when someone is, just being calm and normal versus when someone is actively trying to deceive.
Yeah. It's a little hard, because the thing is that what you do have information now is there's a good chance that Harold is not safe. Mm-hmm. Which means that there is a possibility you could observe him now.
Okay.
If you wanted to.
Yeah, I thought that would be a more difficult thing, but definitely if I could go see how he's doing.
Yeah. With a little bit of asking around, there is an apartment complex that is Section 8 that would have been where he would have been given. And if you just hang around there, like, you do see Harold. You see Harold. It's hard for you to recognize him at first, because before he had this grizzly beard. The top of my head's missing. Oh, I just got closer is what happened. He's clean shaven. He has on clean clothes, appropriate clothes. He's even got a belt on. His hair is cut. And at first he doesn't recognize you. But then something clicks and he's like, Javier. Hey.
Hey, I went looking for you, and is- I'm. You're doing great. It looks.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't know like how I was supposed to contact you to tell you I wasn't living in the park anymore, but I got a job, and they got me some. I got a job, and I got some medication, and surprise! The best way to cure homelessness is to give someone a home.
Hmm. Yeah, go figure. Ah, man, Harold, I'm sorry. It's been so busy at school with so many weird things happening
You're
that I've just.
young. You're a young red-blooded man. You've got young red-blooded things, and this is all stuff that he would normally say to you before, like to do. Like none of this is weird to you, like how he's saying and how he's acting, right? But his demeanor is different. Like, he's like, "Yep, I was just tired of. It was just getting too cold, and there was a guy that came around from that sharing group and offered us some money to come and clean, and I did, and he offered it full time, and I did. I was like, "Yep, let's do it." And before you knew it, I had enough to qualify here, and I get to go to the doctor and get treated for my PTSD. So it's nice.
Yeah, I'm very happy for you.
Thanks. And I mean, I'm still willing to hang out and play chess with you. If that's like if you want to come and by on Saturday, I know you kids. I'm chaperoning a sharing meeting.
That would be cool, but I have a date lined up. I got a girlfriend.
You could bring her.
I think she has plans, but
Ah.
I'll let her know. I've heard a lot about the sharing. It sounds interesting. I'll definitely keep an eye on it.
You know, it was normally. I was a little, skeptical at first. You know me. I am a skeptic. Don't trust anything the government says, but they're not the government. So I listened. And you just be surprised about the things that would happen to you when you just say yes to more things.
I'll keep that in mind. Do you mind if I ask you a little something, Harold?
What's up?
It's not exactly chess, but I've been playing some war games with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been coming up with this issue, and you're always so talented at diversion in whenever we played. I could never tell when you were setting up for something massive. And I was just curious, do you have any insight into what would make someone pull their queen out?
I have a question. Are you trying to deceive him in this moment, or is this true?
This is true. I'm trying to I'm trying to pull on information from like our past together so that I can see like if there's any delay in like recalling a memory, but while also getting a little information, seeing if there's any way that any subconscious thing that he pulls out about like how to maybe attract Visser One.
There is no delay.
No delay, okay.
In the way that he answers you. It's almost as if like once that yerk is tapped into someone's part of the brain, the delay is not there unless there's resistance. And there's not much of a resistance between whatever is happening. And he answers you and he's like, well, pulling out, and he just goes on and starts talking about chess. But probably the biggest thing that you do notice, though, is everything that he is saying sounds like him, but he's trying to end the conversation quickly. Like he's bored with it. And that's the difference that you definitely see and you definitely notice. Like, Harold was never bored with coming up with strategies and plans, right? But when you're talking to him about the things that he loved as a person, the Yerk just seems uninterested and bored.
Cool.
That's where the pretending comes from that you notice. Yeah. Go ahead, mark a tick for your playbook.
Cool.
Hi, Viv. Viv's in chat. Alright. You and Riley still have some downtime, the two of you. And if Riley and I think Effie's the only one who's technically done 2 downtime things. Alright, we got about 30 minutes going. I know that there was some important scenes that Tony wanted to do. And I do kind of want to jump into that. And if we have time, we'll do the other 2 downtimes between the two of you. If not, we might just hit them tomorrow and combine them with our gather information episode. But if y'all don't mind, I think I'm going to do and see what Tony what Tony wanted to do when it came to the fact that Tony is Tony, you living in the woods.
I do.
And y'all all would know this at this time. Tony is wanted for murder. And this is stuff that has been talked about at school. This has been on the news. But you are wanted for murder, Tony. And Javier, you've been cleared of charges as far as people are concerned. You were manipulated by a football player, even drugged you at one point, but you're clear of pretty much anything and everything when it came to that. You're fine. There's no heat on you. There's no eyes on you, but there are eyes on Tony. And the thing is, Tony, if at any point you are able to observe your parents, there is in fact, I'll let you go and see. Is there any time you observe your house? Now you have an owl morph, right?
I do.
Yeah.
It was one of the reasons, that'll help.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are you doing, in this scene?
The
What's
first
the plan?
time he goes,
Mhm.
he is dropping a note on his sister's windowsill and is going to tap on it, and then he's just going to watch the house for a bit.
Okay. There is a note dropped. About what time at night is this? Tap.
Dark,
Done.
weird fall, so 9-ish probably.
Mhm.
Not too late yet.
Mm-hmm. There is the light at 9:00 is still on. Because high school kids, probably bedtime is more around 10 or 11 compared to 9, which is for younger kids, even for your sister. You would know her bedtime is 10:00. We'll just say. So she's getting ready for bed, probably watching TV, listening to the radio or whatever. So light is on. So just take a minute, and the curtain gets pulled back, and you see your sister in her giant LSU jersey nightshirt, and she sort of looks around, what the heck was that? And then looks at the Windowsill sees the envelope there and like opens it and pulls it in. And she reads it. What does it say?
There are 2 letters, actually. One is addressed to the whole family, and one is just addressed to her.
Mm-hmm.
The one to the whole family says, "I'm so sorry. I can't talk to you, tell you in person. I've been taken by these things. They were pretending to be Dimitri and turned into this blue centaur and attacked me.
Okay.
I don't know where I am, and I don't know when they'll let me go. They gave me this to let me write you a note."
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the one to her says, "Burn this after you finish reading it. Don't even let mom and dad see it.
Mm-hmm.
There's something going on. The blue aliens I mentioned are fighting another alien who can take people over. I know it sounds crazy. Just be careful. And if mom and dad even are trying to do something with your ear, don't let them. Take care of Hobbs and be safe."
There is a pregnant pause after she reads these letters. And it almost seems like for a split second, time is still even. And it's kind of fucking weird. When I mean still, I mean like it's like legitimately still. And it's only for a second. But it's noticeable. And then everything starts up again, and your sister breathes out. And she gets her little plastic wastebasket. And she puts both letters in it and burns them both.
Interesting. But then, yeah, at least for a while, I'm probably going to hang around mom and dad's house or my house for a while at night.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I've got.
You notice the 3-day pattern with your parents.
Mm-hmm. What exactly are? Wait, sorry. What did you?
I said you notice the 3-day pattern. A week is 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, you notice the 3-day pattern.
All right. Interesting.
Where every 3rd day they are gone in exhibition, like later than normal. They have a date night, and your parents don't do date nights.
Interesting. Also, nothing seems. It's very weird.
Mm-hmm.
And
it takes 3 days. Every 3 days,
mm-hmm.
Yerks have to return to the Yerk
cycle.
Pool. Yep. Your sister does not go.
Oh. I was actually really concerned about that.
Nope, it is just your parents.
Because I might have given the game away. Sweet. Sadly, I really can't stop and talk to her still without having her go somewhere else. And there's technically 2 other things I need to do first.
Mm-hmm.
The first is going to be going to Riley's house and seeing if she's there.
Okay.
Luckily, as an owl, I can thought speak, and so therefore don't have to make a scene at any way.
No.
Riley, can you open your window if you're around? I need to talk.
What time of the day do you come by?
It would be night.
Probably around 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can see in Riley's window, she wasn't even sitting on her bed. She was just kind of sitting on the floor, leaned up against her bed. Which is where she's been sitting a lot of nights lately. She can't sleep very well. But she will pop up and I think listen at her bedroom door to make sure she doesn't hear anybody moving around, or her mom moving around.
Yeah, no.
And then
Your mom's probably in her room or in the living room watching Jay Leno.
open up the window. And I don't know you have an owl, so I just
Yeah, I
open the
don't know
window
if
and
you-
step back because I don't know what to expect.
And my other thing's a small bird, but yes, once she does step back, I will, provided the window is wide, looks wide enough, try and get in.
Yeah, you're able to like go to the seal, like glide to the windowsill, and then like land on the seal, and then if you need to like hop in the house
Yeah.
that way. Yeah,
That's
you
kind of
can't
how I
like
thought it would have
fly
to go.
straight in.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
they big.
Yes,
Mhm.
very.
This is
I mean,
a
they're
new,
also very quiet.
this is a new
Yeah,
form for you. I like it.
And then Effie and I thought we should get a few more tools under our belts. She picked an interesting choice.
I'm sure.
Are you and Javier, are people just suspecting, what are things like? If I ask Javier, he's either going to hide it or talk way too much about an advantage over how you guys are.
As far as I can tell, stuff for us is blowing over. It's just to focus on you. How are you holding up?
Not good. It's really hard to sleep with Effie. Actually, I get along with just fine whenever she's not unmorphed, but I don't really. I'm not quite used to her yet, I guess. Also, I think my parents are probably are controllers.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I didn't really have time to observe before now, but it seems most likely.
I know it probably doesn't mean much relative to everything going on, but thank you for taking the heat.
It was my fault. I didn't want to sleep next to an Andalite and figured going to get food was a better idea. And it was the least I could do. Javier doesn't need to get in trouble. We need both of you, though, to plan this stuff. Effie is new to things, and I am not that good at this.
You're better at it than you give yourself credit for. But I'm sure you came by for a reason.
Can you... I just need you to... I just wanted to make sure we were safe, and I need you to... Goddamn. Nick's brain just totally rebooted. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. If there's a way to do it, try and watch my... I'm pretty sure my sister's still safe. If you can try and watch her. And eventually, I'd like to if we can, I'd like to tell her about what's going on. We need to start getting people to help us more. Or at least people who will try not to get infested. If no one knows, they can't even protect themselves.
I've had similar thoughts, but if they don't have the power to morph, they're just sitting ducks. They know who we are. We get exposed. That's an escalation of this conflict I don't think we're ready for. I'll try to keep an eye out. I don't know how I would watch your sister like that. I think you're probably the one who's in the best position to.
I'll try. I just can't watch her at school, and that's where most of the ones we know of are. I mean, I guess I could go to the campus as like a cat or something, but that seems like a really bad idea.
It is risky, but even if your sister does get infected, we know how to end that. That's why we have to keep fighting.
All right. Thank you.
Of course.
I try to get sleep and try to not let things bother you too much. Like you said, we're doing what we have to protect people.
You do the same.
And I have one more stop to try and make because I probably am never going to get to try and talk with the few people who I think might not be controllers who were my friends for a long time. So sometime during the day in the next few days as we're doing stuff, actually that's going to be dangerous. I think that'll
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to wait and
nothing. My original plan I don't think makes sense, so I
Okay.
was going to say those are the most important ones.
Okay. With that, Thursday afternoon / evening after school, Javier, you come home. Both of your moms are in the kitchen. One of them, your gardening mom, is actually on the phone, and she is just like, "No, I do not accept the collect call. Tell them to stop." And like she hangs up the phone. And this is kind of something that's been going on for a couple of days. Like someone has been collect calling your house and with weird code names and just hanging up. She just sort of breathes out and she goes, "And I can't get the company to block the number because it's from a different payphone every time." Oh, Javier, hi. And now both of your moms look really nervous. Sit down, son.
Okay. I didn't do anything this time, right?
No, you are not in trouble at all. Not to say that this isn't unrelated. But and they kind of like exchange looks, and they're like, we think that and they hold up, I have to just this pause is just their nervousness. And they're like, what you're going through right now as a young man of different perspective, we have to stay here for our jobs. Well, Carol does. Not Carol, Janice does. And we called Hector. And we think that perhaps for the rest of your high school career, it's best that we send you to Houston to live with your dad. And that's where we're going to leave it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. You're just attracting so much trouble here, and it's just getting dangerous for you. And maybe being around a father figure is what you need, sir. And with that is how we're going to leave that on that cliffhanger. So listen, how y'all handle this as a challenge will be up to y'all. Again, lots of shit going down. All right, we have some leveling up to do. I have to pee real quick, and so y'all kind of look over your sheets and be like, I think I know what's up here. Y'all can discuss the headhunter stuff first, and then we'll do your characters.
So here's the thing. Javier thinks Hector's his uncle. And I don't know if Val remembers that or not, but either way, that was a big
Could be a metaphorical dad.
So yeah, that's fun.
Riley will be heartbroken if you leave for the rest of the year.
Oh no, I already have a plan.
Okay.
Like, do you have good plan, or is it the kind of plan that you go get
a
5
Javier
sentences
plan.
into, and then somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, Effie."
No.
It's probably the second one.
Hey, no. I would require the help of Tony to be my son, myself, and I'm gonna be my mom. We're gonna talk to my dad about, hey, we've actually decided no, he's gonna stay, and then I'm just gonna live with you guys in the base.
Everyone's going to be living in the base by the end of the season.
Oh no. We're
You do
gonna
not
need to
have
expand
enough bean
again.
bags.
All right, friends. Okay, so were you successful in eliminating key members of Yerk forces, do harm to a Visser, or eliminate usefulness of specific controllers to the Yerk invasion? Not this time. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? No. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? No. However, did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? Definitely a yes, because y'all are headhunters. And y'all just looked over at Effie like nonchalant. Oh yeah, we fucked around with the Visser. We're fine.
That's one.
definitely
Second one,
Yeah.
if we can do it. Tony unalived 20 Yerks.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think we counted that for the last time. So yeah, y'all definitely got 2. Definitely. 100%. Like, without a doubt. Let's go ahead and go to Riley. Because it's next. No desperate actions. Did you tackle a challenge with clever morphing or empathy this time around?
Empathy. I had empathy with Javier. Consoling him over his choice. With Space Satan.
For sure.
As one. And then connecting with Effie over bullying.
Absolutely. That's 2 for you on that one.
Awesome.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background at any point?
Yes. Combo with Javier about things being overwhelming because of guilt and how handling things.
The guilt of what specifically?
Specifically, killing Mr. Kadir.
With Kadir, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was a combo we had while you were.
That is true.
Off screen for a moment.
Did you have anything else for that section? Just anything else?
Yes.
Mhm.
Also, when Javier revealed Space Satan deal, asking if they were our friends, that was Riley's big concern. In that was, were they our friends or just allies?
Yeah. That 100% I'll give to you. The other one, I'm gonna go back in and read on it about this, like just rewatch it on the specifics, like tonight or tomorrow, and then I'll give you a definitive yes on that. Unless everyone else can confirm.
I think there's definitely a thing there.
Yeah, my biggest concern with just that specific is you very recently have gotten levels up based on that before. But fuck it, I'll give it to you. It's our game. It doesn't matter.
I will say it wasn't just that. It was kind of everything. She was talking about everything being overwhelming and how it's kind of unfair that this was...
That we're just teenager. Gotcha. Yeah, sure. You can have it.
Thank you.
You don't have any virtues or traumas to struggle with. Well, you have virtues, but I don't think you struggled with your virtues. And you do not have a trauma to struggle with. Javier.
What's good?
There's lots of good things. Did you tackle a challenge that keeps the group united and active against your foe?
No.
No?
Really?
Does anybody have any real quick, actually. Let's Arnica, do you want to do yours? Are you okay?
I've got a migraine kicking up. I don't really know if I can do mine. We're gonna have to do mine later.
You know what? How about we do this? Let's go ahead and let's do our outros, and we can do our stuff off camera.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. We are good to do this. I'll go last. I'll go first real quick here. What's up, everyone? This is my channel. You can catch us. You can catch me on Wednesdays doing this and Saturdays with my Dragon Age campaign. Follow me on the Twitters. Follow me on the Discord. Join the Discords. I should be casting eventually sometime this month, I think, towards the end of the month, for a Persona game. I gotta talk to the person that wants to run it. It's Powered by the Apocalypse game based on the Persona video game series. For Arnica, you can catch Arnica on the Twitters. I'm going to help you out here, friend. Twitter's at Arnica X Cross. I know for sure you play a lot of games with Girls Run This World. Lots of shit going on with that. So be sure to follow Arnica on the Twitters and all of that good stuff. Nielsen, what you got for us?
You can follow me at Twitter at @fell_strike. That's really it at the moment.
For sure. All right, Anna.
Find me on Twitter at Archival Dustbun and most other social media. Black Feather Guild for Champions of the Fae, some Feywild 5e action. Thorny Dryad's channel for U-Force Inheritance, our Masks campaign. Check out Response Team Omnicron if you like Lancer. It's a podcast. Find it anywhere you normally get your podcast. And if you like Digimon, Pokemon, anything like that, we have an Animon Story podcast coming up with an amazing cast called Emergent Code. You can find us on Twitter at Emergent Code Pod. And lots of other great games coming up. Keep an eye on Twitter.
Cool beans. Last but not least, our friend Ollie.
Hello. So you can find my stuff on Twitter at Cryptid Delta, or you can just go to my YouTube channel, Delta Cryptid Productions, and you'll find anything and everything that I do there. There's a couple actual plays going on and random who what not stuff. I'm so bad at social media. My fuck.
It happens.
I'm gonna plug one more thing. I mentioned before, my wife sometimes makes little stories on Tumblr. Her personal Tumblr is Skeletor's Waifu, but the one that she actually writes those on is called From the Prophet, which was a reference to something, but now it's just her being very self-aggrandizing, and that's beautiful. So there's that.
All right, cool beans. And with that, guys, we're just gonna go ahead and actually, it looks like Girls Run These Worlds are live right now, so we're just gonna give them a quick raid and show them some love. And we will see you. I will see you on Saturday, and we will see you next week. See you later, friends. Let's put that. Bye.